Hey guys, Sonic Smashburger here, and another Rush format King of Games is done for this month. And this time, something that I've wanted to do for quite a while. Quite some time ago, in fact. Initially, I planned to do stuff for Romin with the Get Ready to Be Amped Up skill. Not only did she get so much more support since then, but even new skills to go along with said new support. And let me tell ya, initially, this was beyond broken. But the ban list came and kinda knocked it down a few ranks. But even so, despite this, Omega Psychics, because she finally has her fusions, are still able to do some heavy amounts of damage. They're still able to do a lot just in general. Recovery, offense, defense, you name it. It can change the pace pretty much whenever it wants, even now. So, let's take a look at Omega Psychics and the skill of choice, Infinite D Live. It's supposed to be Infinity Live because, infinity, but nonetheless. Can be activated from turn 2 and onward if all the monsters in your constructed main deck are Psychic-type monsters. You can either send a light or dark attribute monster with 100, 400, 1500, or 2200 attack points from your deck to your graveyard, or you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard, then add one Psy Pick-Upper, Ice Pop Bear, or Fusion from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Each card can only be added once per duel this way. So, let's start things off with the main event, at least in the main deck, Prima Guitarna the Shining Superstar. 2 of these. By paying 1000 life points, all face-up monsters on your field gain attack points equal to the number of monsters on your opponent's field times 300 until the end of this turn. So, life point manipulation is the name of the game here. We're paying life points, we're gaining life points. Life points are both our life points and also a resource. Further exemplifying this is the single Romin pick. If we had more, we'd be playing more, it's just that good. If your life points are lower than your opponent's, pay 500 life points. Send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. If a Psychic-type monster is among the cards sent to the graveyard by this effect, you can add any Psychic-type monster from the graveyard to your hand. Well, you have to add one, but even then, that's still so good, and you're gonna be milling a Psychic monster more often than not unless you get really unlucky. Triple Psy Pick-Upper. During your main phase that you normal or special summon this card, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, this card loses 800 attack points until the end of this turn, then you can gain 800 life points. One of our ways of recovering life points. Triple Rhythmical Performer. Send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, your opponent sends the top card of their deck to the graveyard. Then if they sent a spell or trap card to the graveyard by this effect, you can draw 1 card. There is a way to essentially stack the deck and guarantee that we get that draw. Trust me, that combo is kinda fun. Rhythmical Performer is also a bit of a problem in other decks though, but here, it's where it's meant to be. Double Ice Pop Bear. I do have a third, but we literally can't play a third due to the ban list hits. And even then, I don't think you need 3. 2 is enough. During the turn that you normal summon this card, special summon 1 Candy or Lilith from your graveyard face up to your field. This turn, you can only attack with Omega Psychic type and or Psychic type monsters. So, it's another form of recovery. We have the Triple Candy. This is literally just here because it's kind of the main thing Psychics are revolving around. Ice Pop Bear brings it back, it's a normal monster, so Star Restart can bring it back, and it's the main piece of the main fusion, the real main event of the deck, let's be real here. Triple Silent Assailant for a 1500 beat stick. I know Peaceholder is a thing, I don't like Peaceholder purely because of the Void Velg matchup. Purely for it being a light attribute, and Silent Assailant being dark, Silent Assailant is better. And we have the single Lilith. Because I do play its fusion, I think it does come up, I think it's often neglected way too much. It does come up, but it doesn't come up very often. So, 1 is all you need, and I really think that's it. If you were running 2, maybe, you could play like a second one, but really you only need it the 1 time, so I figure 1 is enough. That's it for monsters. Yeah, our normal summon count is really low. On to spells and traps, we got the Pot of Avarice. Shuffle 5 monsters from your graveyard into the deck and draw 2 cards. You might think Pot of Greed is better here. Actually, no. The reason I say that is because you can search stuff like Psy Pickup or an Ice Pop Bear, but those are only once per dual searches with Infinite D Live. So, here's the thing. You mill Psy Pickup or you mill Ice Pop Bear far more often than it feels like you should sometimes. So Pot of Avarice is a cover. It covers for those unfortunate mills. It gets all that stuff back and ready to go for a longer grind game, because sometimes we love to play a bit of a grind game here. And it's just good. Anyway, triple Psychic Divergence. If you have a face-up Psychic type monster on your field, pay 500 life points and place 1 spell or trap card on your opponent's field on the top of the owner's deck. Remember, Rhythmical Performer sends the top card of their deck to the graveyard. So, Psychic Divergence, put a back row on top, Rhythmical Performer, guarantee your free draw. Next up is the Star Restart. Place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of the deck, and special summon 1 level 5 or lower normal monster from your graveyard base up to your field. Then you can add 1 fusion from your graveyard to your hand. I know people have told me, play only 1 Ice Pop Bear and 2 Star Restarts? No. Never. Even if I had a second one, I wouldn't be playing it. Reason being, if we go down to 1 Ice Pop Bear, we're down to 12 normal summons. I don't like being below half as it is. I find that 2 Ice Pop Bear, 1 Star Restart is enough. I know people prefer having the Star Restart. I don't like that. I genuinely think you need more normal summons than it feels like you should sometimes. Plus, 13's already low as is. Going lower seems like, not a good idea. Just saying. Anyway, we have Talismanic Seal Array in here. Shuffle 4 monsters from your graveyard into the deck. 1 face-up monster in your opponent's field loses attack points equal to its level times 200 until the end of this turn. Now, I know most builds don't play Talismanic Seal Array. There is a good reason why I do. It feels like more often than not, Pot of Avarice can get milled sometimes with Psy Pickup, and then you have no recovery. Not to mention, there are some times where you just can't run over certain monsters, because if someone's sitting on like an Ancient Gear Golem and nothing else, Prima Gitarna is not going to be enough. You need Candy Live, and Candy Live on her own isn't going to be enough. You need Prima Gitarna. This can help deal with some of those more problematic situations, and also maximums are a bit of a struggle for this. Because they're all treated as 1 monster, maximums can be a bit of a pain. So on the off chance that does come up, I do think it is important to at least have a Talismanic Seal Array. I did run into a Magnum Overlord earlier and kind of just OTK'd the poor soul, put it to you that way. Anyway, Triple Fusion. Fusion summoned by sending face-up monsters from your field to the graveyard as material. You know how this works. And our fusions are the core of the main strategy. Especially the main one in particular, we'll get to that in a moment. So, here's the thing. We can't just constantly search Fusion, because the Fusion search, much like the rest of Infinite D Live searches, are once per duel. So we need to maximize our copies of Fusion, including with the Star Restart, to be able to consistently get access to our Fusion monsters. Next up is Jamp Start. Place 2 Psychic monsters from your graveyard on the bottom of your deck in any order. Add 1 Psychic type normal monster from your graveyard to your hand. If you added Candide to your hand by this effect, gain 1,000 life points. Another way to recover life points. Now, on to traps. We have, of course, negate attack. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, negate the attack, and essentially end the battle phase, because this turn, your opponent cannot declare any further attacks. And, of course, the Buffered Slime. When an opponent's level 8 or lower monster declares an attack, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. This turn, you take no battle damage. If none of your life points are 3,000 or higher, you take 2,000 damage, which hardly matters, because sometimes we want our life points to be lower for Romin pick. Other times we have so many life points that 2,000 damage doesn't matter. On to the extra deck with the real main event of the show, folks. This is our star, Candy Live. If your opponent has a monster on their field, you can activate one of these effects. Either take 2,000 damage, and then you can make all face-up monsters on your opponent's field lose 3,000 attack points until the end of this turn, or gain 1,000 life points, And you can choose one level 7 or higher psychic type monster in your graveyard, special summon it face up to your field. So this is life point recovery that also gets back Prima Guitarna. This is literally a push for game situation that's also an OTK enabler. This is a way to clear out boards if worst comes to worst. This is the star of the show, folks. You want this on your field as often as you can. This is the real boss monster. Supporting this, we have 2 Candy All. While it's on the field, once per turn, you can special summon 1 level 6 or lower psychic type monster from your graveyard face up to your field, including another Candy All, so you can activate the effect again. You can also summon this next fusion monster, Bear Lilith. Once per turn, return 1 monster in your opponent's field to the hand or extra deck. Then your opponent can special summon 1 monster from their hand in face up attack position to their field. You don't know how many people I've seen summon a 0 attack monster trying to summon in defense off of this thing, because they don't read. Furthermore, this can clear out fusions, and if they don't have a card in their hand or a monster in their hand, it clears them out for free. Bear Lilith is neglected way too often, and it comes up more often than you think. So do keep this in mind, it's actually pretty useful. There are 2 cards I do want to talk about regarding Omega Psychics, and the first one is one of their limit 3s. Can Melody. Return 1 other face-up level 5 or higher monster from your field to the hand, and choose 1 face-down card on your opponent's field and shuffle it into the deck. If your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can add 1 level 1 psychic type normal monster from your graveyard to your hand as well. So here's the thing. The reason why this got hit was to take Can Melody out of the deck. To the point where most people are still giving up the Ice Pop Bear to just run Can Melody and sit on frickin' Candy Lives all game. Can Melody is still really insane for Omega Psychic if you can get into it. But personally, I just don't like the idea of using Can Melody here, because you have to hard draw into it, you have to hard mill it in order to actually get Candy Live to be able to bring this thing back. As good as it can be at dealing with defensive stall, which is the one thing I'd say this really consistently struggles with, then, yeah. I just don't think Can Melody is that worth it anymore compared to what it used to be. The other card I want to talk about is a spell that was once limit 2'd but has now gone to limit 3, because the spell is still worth noting. Where is Jump Check? If you have 2 or more face-up psychic type monsters on your field, including a normal monster, look at up to 2 face-down spell or trap cards on your opponent's field and destroy one of them. If you have Candy face on your field, you also can gain 1,000 life points. This card was busted. I understand why this got limit 2'd on release. I also understand why this went to limit 3. They really wanted to take Can Melody out of the deck. I mean, for me personally, they succeeded, and I didn't even like Can Melody that much anyway. So, that's all the cards I needed to talk about. Let's get on to replays. And, be ready for a KC Cup-sized replay compilation, because I got some bonus replays. So, let's get these bonus replays started with, as you can tell, Gaia. Because Gaia gave us a free structure deck, essentially. And it's broken. It's actually broken. The new skill is toxic. It's basically Revolution de Fleur in Rush Duel form. In that there's so little restriction that you can play a lot of stuff that wasn't intended in this thing.
For your own sake.
Let's go.
Maddox, so get
It's not Maddox, it's Manabu. Get it right.
I'll set up everything.
So, right out the gate, we're doing things as you would expect. So, that was an unfortunate mill. And so was that. Yeah, you see what I mean? Sometimes you can just mill cards you really do not want to be milling. Let's gain those life points and start swinging and hope to God that, well, we don't crash into something with high defense. Thankfully, none of them had any defense to begin with.
All right. I activate my monster's
Freaking
effect.
star replacer.
Come on out. Okay. I activate
Battle-tested
my
Gaia.
monster's- Okay. I fusion summon
And here comes Swift Gaia, the Dragon Champion.
time for the card I set. I activate
And
a
Seal
spell
Array,
card.
because people don't know how to hold their resources when they can't take game. Although, granted, in this case, it was whatever.
That ends my turn.
Let's just jumpstart that stuff back, shall we? I pitched Rhythmical Performer there for a reason. That was hella unfortunate, by the way. Yeah, that was a classic case of I just milled horribly.
I activate my monster's effect.
Frickin' Star Replacer.
Come on out. Okay. I activate my monster's effect. Ready.
Get another battle-tested Gaia, and here we go again. Summoning Vanilla Gaia, the Dragon Champion. Why would you ever?
Chemistry. Okay. All right. I activate my monster. Come on out.
Unless you're gonna take game anyway, you do it for the memes. Why would you ever?
I activate my ready.
And here comes Swift Gaia into battle-tested Gaia into another freaking fusion.
Chemistry. I activate my monster's effect. Here goes.
3 fusions,
Direct attack.
1 turn. What does that say about frickin' Star Replacer?
Everything is proceeding exactly as I expected. I end my turn.
Alright, 2 can play that game, buddy.
I believe in you, Rhythmical Performer. Activate my spell card. Rhythmical
And here's that guaranteed free draw I mentioned earlier.
I activate Psychic spell card everything.
Unfortunately, milled Psychic Divergence as well. Like, this is the thing. Sometimes you can just mill the stuff you really don't want to be milling.
Rhythmical Performer. Rhythmical Candy Light.
Now, I unfortunately have to burn the life points here and put myself in danger. Because I need to get all of these off the field.
This is all. You will never extinguish.
If I don't, I'm going down that turn. I had no choice.
I go. My mind can't be.
There's still a
Must
lot
recheck
of
my calculations.
And so, it pretty much came down to this last turn.
With romantic. Are you ready to get amped up? Rock the stage. Watch me. Candy Live activates. Rock the stage. Prima Guitarna, the shining superstar. Prima Guitarna activates her effect. Let 'em hear your battle. Time for the grand finale.
And the music reset when it shouldn't have. Also, I'm just gonna say it straight. Romin may have the single best near victory theme in the entire game. I mean that. And that's counting how amazing Yuamu's is. So I will say there was literally a case of I had to sacrifice one of my potential bonus replays. I sacrificed the second Dragia Star one purely so you guys wouldn't have to hear Luke's ear-grating voice. You're welcome. That, and I'm also just sick of Luke.
If you think I'm
Want me to tear up?
let's get ready for the rush. I draw. I'll set a monster. I set a
So, this wasn't a great hand, to say the least.
I draw. I'm ending my turn.
out from the I draw. My guitar.
And neither was that draw.
I'm gonna end
Prizes
this
in store
quick.
for later.
My turn. I
And
draw.
my turn.
7 stars collide. Right. I'll set a monster. I activate Dragius. Get ready, Dragius. Attack.
Unga Strike Bunga Carius, as I like to call it, because let's be real, this thing carries.
Ice Pop Bear. Ice Pop Bear. I believe in you, Can. This spell card. Fusion Summon. Candy. Rhythmical Performer. Rhythmical Performer. I believe in you, Candy. Side Pickupper.
And so we get Candy live on the field. Gain even more life points. And we're not even done! Also, this animation shreds, but I'm gonna show it later because of one particular hand that played out in the funniest way it could have ever played out. This is back before I realized, wait, I should probably not be so aggressive, but I ended up doing this anyway, purely because I was just sick of Luke. I wanted to make sure this abomination of a character didn't see the light of day again. That, and I was a little scared of Dragon's Fortitude, not gonna lie. So, something you're gonna learn quite quickly is that because we gain life points so often, we can survive OTKs that no other deck in the game can survive. Or at least most of them can. Okay, I hate Miragius because of this deck, but at the same time, it is probably the second coolest of the dragons he has. To me, my personal favorite will always be Metagius, because it's just such an interesting idea, and also balanced, unlike his other dragons. As you're gonna see here. See, worst case was, I survived anyway. So, remember how I said Bear Lilith can come up in ways you wouldn't expect? Here's what I'm talking about. No cards in hand, and that's a fusion. So that goes to the extra deck. Do you see where I'm going here? Get out of here. Just get out of here. Don't underestimate Bear Lilith. Do not neglect this thing. It's so useful in situations where you wouldn't expect. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, get out of here, Luke. Just get out of here. Okay, so, here's the hand I was talking about. You would not expect this to have played out the way it did, but it was so funny I had to make this a bonus replay. This is so good. So, I'm just gonna let this play out purely because we get to hear one of the best songs in the game pretty much the entire time. Yeah, you see this hand? Triple Rhythmical Performer and Prima Guitarna. Did you really expect this to go as well as it's about to? Because I sure didn't.
Time to begin my experiment. I draw ready for a lesson in. Can I activate my from my hand?
So, Gaia out the gate, and this guy milled the gate attack.
I said everything is proceeding.
And this is all he has. So,
I end my turn.
Watch this. Rhythmical Performer. Mill Avian Spell Tactics. Go again. Mill Star Restart, so I draw again. This is about to get ridiculous. The only thing he has now that could stop me is Buffered Slime. Check this out. Skill activate. Mill either Lilith or Candy. Doesn't matter in this situation, but in this case, I'm milling Candy for consistency, in case something goes wrong. Ice Pop Bear, go off. Get me another body on board for the second Prima Guitarna. Rhythmical Performer.
Activate your effect. Side Pickupper.
Mill freaking polymerization.
I activate Psy Pickupper's effect. Prima Guitarna activates her effect. Let 'em hear your riff.
Now, I'm gonna pause the replay real quick because we're getting to the best part of the track, and I want to let this play out. Enjoy.
Prima Guitarna.
Yeah, that is a banger if I've ever heard one.
Rock in the face. From my hand.
And now Seal Array. He didn't have buffered slime, so let me break down how much damage that would have done.
It's hard and forever.
2,500 with one Prima Guitarna. Then I forget what the other thing was. I want to say it was 1,500 beat sticks and 900. Long story short, he was done in one move. All because that hand played out the way it did. That was beautiful. So, 6 or 7 attempts later, the second attempt being ruined by negate attack, joy, we got this. Now, aside from Luke, don't expect anybody playing their actual decks, unfortunately. Yeah, what does that say about this format? But we are dealing with Kappa.
My deck is
Kappa
good to go.
ni Tori.
The universe was
How many of you get that
created so
reference?
we'd be
Anyway.
able to duel. I'm ready whenever you are.
Let's go.
Get ready for the rush. It's my turn.
I cannot believe I just made a freaking big reference to that on the channel.
Setting a card. I'm
That
setting
should
a card.
pretty much date how much I know.
Ends my turn.
I'll knock you
Oh, that's kind of embarrassing in hindsight. Anyway, moving on.
I'm gonna play
So, this hand isn't
Performer.
the best.
Well
Is
then,
that allowed?
curious.
Siesta hold. I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime, but here we are.
This spell
So, I unfortunately get baited here.
summon a monster.
Badly.
I'm a bear. I'm a bear.
I try to be sneaky.
Now isn't the time.
Unfortunately, this guy knew what was coming. So, I just got hard baited.
It's
That's my fault.
I draw.
But we can bounce back.
This. Come out. Now isn't the time for I activate my
And so, Sea Dragon King Granganus.
Than that.
Like,
Come out. I
Granganus is not that good, honestly. It's just there. Why is this lit thread?
Gone.
Not bad.
Be gone. I end my
Watch this.
turn.
I
This is the beginning of your end.
I activate my
Let's just jump start.
jam start.
Thank you very much.
Rhythmical performer. Rhythmical performer. Side
The mill unfortunately fails, and I forget my mill along with it.
you can't do this spell card.
Oh, it was an ice pop there. That's unfortunate, but whatever.
The Omega. Candy Light. Candy Light.
So I just opt to go for damage because none of the effects here matter in my situation.
You own. Did you forget about this card? I activate a
Or no,
spell
this is
card.
just straight up Umi.
Now is
But even then, Umi is just bad.
Let's back take this.
Incoming negate attack.
Card I
ends my
watch this.
turn.
I draw Rhythmical Performer. Watch me. Rhythmical Performer. I'll play this. I pick up a.
So I pick up or gain some freaking life points.
Prima Guitarna the
And we double up on Prima Guitarna in one move.
rock the stick. Prima Guitarna.
Pay up some life points and go for big numbers. And he had nothing, so, GG easy? That was essentially an OTK. Let me remind you, that was on bigger bodies than usual. Also, pardon that, that's just my
Thanks to
chair
you,
being a little bit old.
I'm able to see a world.
I love
Yeah, the thing's a bit old. It's kind of lived its days, somewhat. Also, equip spells are a new thing. Unless you're join tech, don't expect them to be of any meaning. Yeah, apparently the new Galactica support didn't end up doing anything for it. Now, Luke, on the other hand, you know how much I hate this guy. And I mean genuinely hate this guy. In the words of Dr. Robotnik, well, Dr. Ivo Robotnik / Eggman, rather, I hate that hedgehog! Oh god, he's blue-haired and spiky. I just noticed I can make that comparison. And cocky as all get out. So, Onga Strike Bunga Carius, hey look who cares. Heavenly Bliss for some reason. You can tell these guys are bad. So I opt to just go for the Candy Live just to be absolutely safe. And also, I just kind of wanted to get Ice Pop Bear out of my hand and get some defense with bodies on board. So let's just do a small amount of damage. So here's the deal with Dragia Star. Unless you're topped off on life points, you're never actually safe. And I'm in like over 6k topped off, and that's saying something. Polymerization for some reason. Because yeah, the Gaia structure deck also gave us polymerization.
I say it twice.
You say it twice because you're an idiot. He's canonically an idiot, by the way. Yes, he's canonically been called an idiot by the Seven's cast on multiple occasions. How about we don't do that and say we did? Get out of here. Now, I specifically opt to just go for fusion here. I don't care what you have, it's not going to be nearly as bad. Psychic Divergence, guarantee our draw. And then I just have a funny idea. Oh wait, no, that was in a replay from a failed attempt, I think. So I go for Pot of Avarice, trying to get Psychic Divergence to go and, you know, get whatever back row that is out of play. Turns out it wasn't anything special because he surrendered right there. Thankfully, because I am just sick of getting cheated out of wins by negate attack. Yeah, guess what ruined an attempt? So, I don't think you're gonna see the whole Candy All Candy Live OTK combo here. But also, Dragia Star again. If you're wondering why I have so much animosity toward fricking Luke, watch Sevens yourself, you'll understand why I say this guy has a massive ego. So, unfortunately, I have to give up a freaking Ice Pop Bear search just to be able to play the freaking game. And for good measure to both unclog my hand and make absolutely sure my life points are topped off completely. Yeah, basically, unless my life points are, like, on average this high, I don't ever feel like I'm safe. Also, frickin' negate attack, but at the very least, that's out of play early. Yeah, I normally tend to swing with Candy Live first to scout for negate attack and know if they have it or not. Funny fusion!
I select Miragia Star F. Get ready, Miragia Star F.
Now, here's the thing. If Dragius came up,
Dark Pulse Burst Star. Take this.
then I probably would have been in trouble. But even then, I'm living. This is why I like to keep my life points high. Now let's get Star restarting here. I shuffled Fusion back because I already had one in Graveyard.
Watch me. This spell card's everything. Scratch the chords and tune up the melody. The Omega. I set a candy line.
And since I know he doesn't have Negate Attack, I choose to set the freaking Psychic Divergence to try and bluff in case of a Dragon's Inferno.
Just a scratch.
Yeah, get off my field. Get out of my game loop, please.
I activate Dragon.
And there it is. That's what I thought. Now I will say, cool that we're seeing Righteous Dragon, because admittedly this is the one dragon of his I actually genuinely really like.
7 stars collide to burst into a supernova.
Who cares? Well, among the non-boss monster dragons, like just in general, I don't like Luke at all. If you can't tell, I have a lot of animosity toward this guy. Anytime he's relevant, I haven't even seen actual dragon mains defending him. Back during freaking, what was it, Dragonic Resonance?
Fusion summon. Fusion.
Nobody defended him back then. And nowadays, nobody defends him now.
I'm setting a card. Here's Hyper Strike Track. Get ready.
And that's this guy's entire extra deck because, you know, people think
Since when did
fricking they don't need anything.
This is what happens when you try to force your own game. You're the one who needs to study more, not me.
Also, yeah, just get out of here with that. Let's not say we did. And it's Gaia City from here. In this case, we have a version of Gaia that's kind of being played as intended. There is talk of Right Across Gaia being potentially tier 0 and potentially being Rush's first true combo deck. But I'll have to see more on that. I'll have to see that being cooked in order to actually, you know,
I will learn everything about
believe it. I don't believe it right now,
Sogetsu.
but we will see what happens going forward.
Rush.
Oh, not I draw. I set up.
Now, I opt to just go on the defensive and just top off on life points, and we mill Candy, which is beautiful.
I draw. Come on out.
One of the best mills that could have happened here.
Activate my monster. All right.
I kinda wish he took freaking
Set a card.
Candy out of spite, but whatever.
Battle. Go. My monster attacks. Go.
So, Swift Gaia just gets to do its thing.
Proceeding exactly as I expected.
Ice Pop Bear. Rhythmical Performer. Rhythmical Performer. Rhythmical Performer. Rhythmical Performer. Are you ready? Prima gets. Ice Pop Bear. I believe in you, kid. I'm gonna.
Let's take back Psy Pickupper.
I activate Psy Pickup. This spell card and scratch the chords and tune up the melody. The Omega. I activate the spell card.
Pot of Avarice and try to do something stupid.
Candy Live activates. Rock the stage. Prima Guitarna. Prima Guitarna. Ice. Here we go. Candy Live. Attack.
In hindsight, I should have done that differently,
I attack.
because Buffered Slime would have, you know, been out of range.
I have plenty of surprises in store
I
for
draw.
later.
Come on out.
I end
I
my turn.
activate my
But
Come on
we're
out.
in this situation.
Okay. I activate
And is it
my
sad that I
monster.
genuinely don't feel safe here?
I fusion summon a monster. I activate
He's
my
scared of the
monster
seal
deck.
array. That's kind of what I was hoping would happen.
I sum ready for a lesson in chemistry. Ready for a lesson in chemistry. This
Gets that back because he has polymerization set.
card ready for a lesson in chemistry. Fusions. I activate my monster.
Goes for the extra draw and has back row, unfortunately, which is annoying, but what can you do?
Not bad.
But because of this situation, all I need is a fusion.
I draw. I activate my spell card. Jam start. I activate my spell card.
Oh wait, what am I going for here?
Watch me.
Oh wait, I hadn't already used fusion.
I believe in you. This spell card's everything. I'll fusion summon a monster. Can't. Candy all. You don't want to mess with Prima Guitarna. I activate Romantic.
Oh, right, now I see what I do. Romantic gets to come in clutch because I pay up life points like a boss.
Rock the stage. Here I go. Prima Guitarna battle. This melody will change the world. Play on the tune. Time for the grand finale. And there
Yeah.
is no encore.
There will be no encore, or wait, no, there will be, because we're going to be seeing Gaia again. Only this time,
This duel.
Rush duels are.
we're going to be seeing an example of what I mean by the skill having basically no restrictions. So, this was the exact matchup that my initial rank up attempt was on attempt 2. That got ruined by negate attack. This is Gaia Materian. You heard me right. The Gaia skill can play Materian stuff. It can also play the elemental heroes.
With this duel, I will learn everything.
It can
about
play, as mentioned, Ride Acrosser earlier.
Maddox, so get
It
to
can play
Get ready for
almost anything for no reason.
my turn. I draw. I'll set a monster. I'll set a card. That ends
Watch
my
this.
turn.
I draw Rhythmical Performer. Rhythmical Performer. I'm gonna play. I believe in you, Candy. Side pick. I activate this spell card. Everything. Scratch the chords. Tune up the belt. The Omega. Candy Rock. Prima Guitar. Here we go. This melody.
And yeah, figures that was Curse of Dragon.
It's my
My
turn.
turn. I draw. Come on out. I activate my
Imaginary Reactor, go Burr.
I activate my. All right.
Here comes Materian Ashura Star Prismatic.
I activate my
Lucky,
monsters
sort of.
effect.
Although I really
My hypothesis is that I will win.
wanted to see a second Prismatic Infinite Constructor Born build, removing Candy live. For the purpose of this profile, because, yeah, Romin is, for me, a very close second with Asana among the 7s cast, and it's a very close race. Because Romin, low-key, kind of carried 7s for a while, but also 7s kind of just... I just have my personal gripes with Luke, and it's the whole reason why I just don't like it that much. Also, yeah, Star Restart can bring back Curse of Dragon.
Come on out. I tribute summon a
And of course, I'm not allowed to have my negate attack, but everybody else gets to have theirs.
Ready for a lesson in chemistry? Fusion summon. I'll let go. Go. Now everything is proceeding.
Thankfully, I get to top off on life points super often.
I end my turn.
Ice Pop there! Ice Pop, I believe in you! Are you... Prima Guitar... Here I go! I suck time!
Now, I don't want this guy doing piercing damage, because you'll notice one problem with Omega Psychic is that
Go!
Watch.
none of those monsters have any defense points worth anything.
My turn.
And of course, like I said, and part of that was my chair again, I never get to have my negate attack, but everyone else gets to have theirs.
I set a monster.
In particular when it's Luke or Gaia, or just anytime it's a freaking meta deck. So this guy opts to go after Side Pickup due to the threat of Candy live. Normally the smart move, yes, but
Proceeding exactly as I expected.
that's gonna be his undoing.
I activate the spell card!
Pot of Avarice, all I need is a Side Pickupper and it's over.
I believe
Ask and you shall receive!
you should never underestimate me! Side! I activate Psychic this spell card, everything! Scratch the chords and tune up the melody! The Omega Psychic type! I activate my spell card! Jam start! My guitar's ready to rip!
GG. Buffered Slime cannot save you.
There'll be no encore. My monster attack.
And this was purely despite Materian. I am sick of Type Change Beam into Assura Star OTKs. Just saying. If you're gonna play the Materian build, at least play Uo so you get your Assura Star summon animation next time. Please.
But I didn't give up.
There you go. Omega Psychics can still hang and still reach King of Games. So, I'd argue that this is still a top 5 deck. Not nearly as good as it used to be because we're in a 2-deck format basically, Luke and Gaia variations aplenty. Maybe Sidra, but that's about it. But here's the thing. Materian and Omega Psychic are both among that top 5, at least to me, for a different reason. Materian can basically force you to play uber defensive due to the fear of Type Change Beam into Assura Star. This can change the pace of the game as it so pleases. The threat of Candy Live alone can literally change the game into you have to play defensive or all of a sudden you just get blown up, or alternatively, you try to get Candy Live off the field, but they have such a good defense that it doesn't matter. You can basically play to gain life points and play the HP tank defense style, or you can turn those life points into aggression and swing for game, or even push for game, or even an OTK. Life point manipulation aplenty with Omega Psychics, and this is the kind of thing that I genuinely love in terms of playstyles. It's creative, it's expressive because of how much you have available to you in terms of life point manipulation. Mastering it is what makes a good Omega Psychic man. It is one of the trickiest things to master at first, and it's tricky in terms of the decision making. But once you get it down, it is definitely a fun powerhouse. I'd still consider it a top 5 deck, if just barely. The thing is, again, it struggles with certain situations. If someone's playing uber defensive and you're low on cards, you're probably going to deck out first and you're going to lose. It happens sometimes. I've gotten decked out before. Additionally, there are just some situations where you just can't run over anything, or you just don't get your fusions when you really need them, or you just get hands full of spells. Trust me, I have had that happen where I have opened Psy Pick-Upper, 4 spells, and just got OTK'd. It happens. Sometimes it happens. That's one of the other reasons why I keep telling y'all, 2 Ice Pop Bear, 1 Star Restart is the correct ratio, not 1 and 2. The other thing I've got to say about Omega Psychic that I have an issue with personally, I don't know if anybody else has this issue, but I find more often than not you end up milling cards you'd rather not be milling in the first place. Very often, in fact. I've milled Negate Attack so many times. You saw it in that first bonus replay. I milled badly. Pot of Avarice, Negate Attack, eventually Buffered Slime. All gone off the top. Trust me, that happens way more often than it should, and it sucks. But when you mill stuff like Candy or Prima Guitarna, it's a free Foolish Burial. So, definitely a tricky deck to master, but man is it fun. I am glad this can still contend with a lot of the better decks in the format. Am I gonna say it's, consistently good? Not anymore like it used to be, in part because of power creep being a thing. But the sheer threat of Candy Live is so strong, it more than makes up for the consistency shortcomings. Below normal summon count is a bit of an issue, at least to me, but we have enough ways to get around that anyway, so it doesn't matter too terribly much. It can be annoying, though, going first when you don't open a single normal summon. Yeah, that's a thing. But other than that, still a really fun deck, still powerful, and if you want to invest in this still, it's definitely worth it. You're going to have to go through the Void Belt box a few times, though. And Zuijo is not available yet for a rerun, so that's a bit of a thing. But, what can you do? Anyway, that's all I have to say for this video. So, until the next one, whatever it might be, Later, guys.